Yeah, yeah. Starting. Okay. You
Hernan?
can you can start now, brother. Big.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
I was
I
just
guess
going to
I'll start
discuss
my
back and
time.
forth, but if you want to go by timer.
I
All right,
started
I'm
the
taking,
timer.
okay, let's begin. I'm taking the position that the Trinity doctrine, the Trinity meaning there's three gods in one, is actually from pagan origins from pagan history from the beginning. That the Trinity doctrine, three gods, is one started in ancient Babylon with the knowledge and worship of Nimrod, his wife, mother Semiramis, and their son Tammuz. The ancient Egyptians, whose influence on early religious thought was considered profound, usually arranged their gods and goddesses in groups of three. So you go to encyclopedia and Wikipedia, go to museums, and you will see Trinity gods. You will not see that in Hebrew culture, in the Old Testament, nor the New. For none of the apostles or people of God and prophets, even Jesus himself, would not identify himself as God, never. Because there's only one God, clearly. So that's really where it came from, the original doctrine. And so when we get to the Bible now I have plenty of things on history. I won't read all the history unless I need to. So basically that's it in the history. It's showing a Trinity of God. When the Bible will clearly tell us there's one God, let me get to my scripture references here. Such as even, let's see, where would we begin? Well, we can begin in John 1:1, because Trinitarians, excuse me. We'll go there. And of course, it will say, in the beginning was the Word. Let me open my Bible. Just read it from the King James. I'm using King James. So I always do. And they will go here. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was made. Well, if there's a Trinity and the Holy Spirit's God, why isn't the Holy Spirit mentioned here? See, the Trinitarians fell to answer that because it's simply, you got to remember that our Bibles are translations. Even, if you got a Filipino Bible, in your dialect, it's a translation, and words can be changed and lose their meaning. See? So the writers of the King James put in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The real Greek is the Word and God are one, as in one in spirit. As Jesus would say when we go to John 17, verse 21. If you got your Bibles, you can follow along with me. And you'll see Jesus would pray that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee. That
2 minutes.
Okay, wait till there's 30 seconds, CJ. That's it.
All right.
Okay. As thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. So here Jesus is saying, he's praying for his disciples in John 17. He's praying that they will be one as him and the Father are one. So now we got, instead of dualism, that means two, because Holy Spirit ain't mentioned in John 1. Now we got like millions of them that are gods now. Now we got a million gods. No, we know it's one as in a family unit is one. It's one as a church, maybe one. It's one as, I don't know what sport they play there, soccer, the Philippines. It's one team with many members. So that's what it's saying in John 1. I'm just done with John 1 now. I'm going to get to other scriptures too later. And the word there is the word logos in the Greek, and it never stands for God. Now, if I got enough time, go ahead and tell me how much time I got. So let me see if I can pull it up here.
50 seconds. Roughly.
Okay, if I don't get enough time, I'll do it now. In the Greek, the word is logos, and I was going to read the definition, but if you got a strong concordance, look it up. And you'll see it never implies that Jesus is God. It's got a variety of meanings, but it's simply showing something spoken over all.
30 seconds.
Okay, let me see if I can get it up real quick here within time. Word is logos. That's the word they were using in the Greek in John 1, 1 and 2. It was showing that what God spoke is one with him. It's one spirit, not the same person. See? Because Jesus had to pray to the Father, which I'll get to later, and in other debates that I had with him, I showed him that Jesus said, the Father sent me.
Time.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we have now 5 minutes, right, Ma'am CJ?
Yes, 5 minutes. Start now.
Yes. First of all, in John chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning was the Word. Who is Word in this verse, according to John 1:1?
Are you asking me?
My question is, who is the
okay.
Word in John 1:1?
Okay. All right, thank you. That's what I was getting to. It's the word logos, which would be Jesus Christ. He
All right.
is, but you got to find the definition. That's what I was starting to show you.
You answer my question categorically. The word here in John 1:1, the word is Jesus. And based on the John 1:1, do you believe that in John 1:14, the word was manifest in the flesh? Is that verse attested that Jesus is really the word of God? Is Jesus is really the word in John 1:1?
Yes.
All right. Now, in John 1:1 said, what is the nature of the word according to the third clause of the John 1:1? What is the nature based on John?
You got to give me a definition and the way you're using the word nature to answer that. I don't understand when you say what is the nature. What does that mean?
I will change the what is the presentation of John according to what is word in John 1:1 in the third clause.
Okay, the presentation is the subject matter is what was in the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So the subject matter is what's in the beginning before all things.
So according to the third clause, the article is the Word was God. Do you agree that according to John, the Word was God?
Not in the translation. That's what I'm showing you. They mistranslated.
Okay.
It should be the Word. That's why. Let me. You're not. Let me answer. Okay. You gotta let me answer. That's why I was showing you John 17:21. It's the same article as you're saying. It's saying the same thing, that the disciples were one with the Father and Jesus. He was praying that, one in spirit. Go ahead.
Okay, that is not my John 17:21. The verse that you're quoted is debatable. But what I'm going to concentrate first is your answer in John 1:1. Do you agree? Now you are saying that based on this translation. Now my question is this: what translation you will accept that the word is not God? What translation you will accept?
I will accept the manuscripts that the Greek was translated from the Hebrew, and
no,
we have
give me the book, because you are, when you read the John 1:1, you are reading the King James version. Am I right?
You're right.
Okay. Now give me the books or the translation that will say that the word is not God. What is the translation? What book? What Greek work? What Greek Bible that you will present to us?
Well, what I'm using is the Septuagint that is translated from the Hebrew, and all the Bibles. You got to let me finish answering.
CJ, let me. I will. Sorry. CJ, my question is very clear. You have the power to redirect the question and answer, CJ. My question is.
Okay, tell him to let me answer. Then he's cut me off.
Yes, let Vicky answer, please.
Okay, thank you, CJ.
You're welcome.
Okay. You got to be the monitor. Okay, I'm not going to be long. I'm answering your question. The translations are just that. They're translated to the dialect of the country. Okay. The original is Greek, translated from Hebrew. It's called a Septuagint. So it's the manuscripts that are copies from the original. Okay, and sometimes words can lose their meanings in translations. Okay, which is the word was. That's why I was going to John 17:21, which you don't want me to go to because it's showing the same thing. The word was with God, just like Jesus is praying. His disciples will be one with him and the Father. Same
30
thing.
30 seconds.
Uh, but that's not my question. I asking CJ if he can provide a Septuagint books or a translation that say very clear my question. Because you are disagree that the word was God. Can you show me the translation of the Septuagint that say that in John 1:1 the word was not God? Can you give me the books? Can you show me the books?
Time.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
I
Okay,
got an answer.
I'll give him the 1 minute to answer. Just
Okay.
for
Yeah, don't
Okay.
cut me off when I'm answering, CJ.
Okay.
CJ. I'll give him the 1 minute for the benefits. But
Okay.
this is my demand or my question. Show me the translation of the Septuagint that say that the word was not God. What is the book? Show me the books.
Okay, I explained it the last time I answered you. The books are called the manuscripts. The only way I could show you is that, please don't interrupt me. Let me talk.
No, I'm not interrupting you. Where is the book before I accept your answer?
The books are in museums. I'd have to have the key to the door and permission to go in there, or I'd have to break in, then I'd be arrested. So there's no way I could show you other than you maybe searching on the internet and get the manuscripts, but it's written in a different dialect. It's written in Greek, which I don't speak, and Hebrew. So that's why I have a concordance to get the translation.
Thank you.
Okay.
CJ, this debate will be, sorry, before we start the continuous, because many people are listening today, can we now, you can see now, if we can speak the reference which is not available today, it will be blank to the mind of the people, CJ, because he cannot provide it. How can we test if his reference is right, is in the museum? So can I ask the
Hernan,
let me finish.
Hernan, no. This is your time. Okay,
Gentlemen.
Tell him to be quiet.
Gentlemen.
Okay. Silence.
Hernan. Let me say something, okay? You're addressing her and debating her now, and this is your 5-minute time, okay? So you can say what you want in your time. You don't get extra time. You're trying to take extra time.
Big. So our debate is very professional and in order. I will ask to CJ before I will start, because it will be a what you call it, very confusion. So that's why I asked CJ, can we use the reference that is only available and we can have it now? Because if we were going to quote, right, CJ, a reference that is not available, that is very questionable. Like what Brother Big done, he was quoting the book.
How many minutes do you get?
Let me finish.
Wait a minute. This is supposed to be your 5 minutes. CJ, you gotta tell him that.
Let me finish, Big, so we can.
Okay, go
ahead. Can be very productive.
You get.
Can we use CJ the only reference that we can provide right now, CJ? Because if I quote some verses or books that is not available, it is imagination. It is questionable because we don't have. How can we say that is true? Your reference is in the museum.
Why are you debating CJ?
No, I'm not debating CJ. I am requesting to CJ that the only reference that we can use is the available today.
Hernan, please. Okay, I'm
trying to be
nice. Hernan, I'm trying to be nice and polite.
Okay.
Hernan, listen.
Can I have my 5 minutes now?
I gave you no, hold on.
I have 5 minutes now, CJ.
Come on, CJ. Get him under order.
Gentlemen, be quiet, okay?
Okay, see, you just took an extra 5 minutes to explain and start debating CJ. Okay, this is supposed to be your 5 minutes. And what's about what I hold on.
Silent. You're not the moderator. CJ is the one who will rule. Oh, quiet. Or CJ.
Okay, well, tell him let me talk.
CJ,
gentlemen, be quiet. Hernan, be quiet. Vic, you're quiet. So, okay.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. Can I talk now?
Yes, talk.
All right. So you gave me permission to talk. Okay.
It's my time. It's my time.
She gave me. You said you're going to go by CJ. She just gave me permission to say something.
No,
You
I'm
just
not
took
debating
an extra 5
CJ.
minutes.
Quiet. CJ, can I start my 5 minutes?
CJ, I want to say something. He just took an
Okay,
extra 5 minutes.
Hernan. Okay, let Vic speak. Okay, and then I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Now I already answered you and told you all Bibles go by manuscripts. Okay. And we have copies of them. The only way to go there is to get permission from the authorities to go there and look at the manuscripts. That's what Bible scholars do, Hernan. Okay. And
Okay.
then they publish Bibles in people's languages. Okay. All right, go ahead. Let's don't dwell on that for 5 hours. Go ahead and take your turn. All right, go ahead.
CJ, can I little have a request for you before I go to my 5 minutes presentation? So when I present, very clear. Give me 1 minute.
Yes, you can ask me.
Thank you, CJ. You're so kind.
You're very welcome.
Oh, thank you. CJ, this is my point. How about we are looking for the truth, right, CJ? We are
Yes.
looking for the truth. And to be truth, we have to see the evidence. I did not say that his evidence is right or wrong. But my point, we don't have right now. It's questionable. So I suggest that we can only use the evidence that is available right now. That is my point lang naman before I present. Diba?
Okay.
How can we determine if the translation is right? It is in the museum. So how can we say that?
Well, I told you, you do it. It's called Bible scholars, people who are educated and professors.
Can you provide now, Vic? Can you provide now, Vic, the copy?
Well, I asked you before.
Okay, gentlemen.
He's just dwelling on that because I'm showing. Take your 5 minutes, Hernan. Okay.
Gentlemen. Okay, I know you, Vic. I know you know this verse. Okay, be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath.
Amen.
You must practice that.
Well, okay. You know, that's what I've been doing.
I know. I
I'm taping
understand.
everything, and we can play the tape back and see.
Can I talk now, CJ? Can I talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell him to take his 5 minutes, CJ.
Please take your 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You know, the only things in searching the truth, in Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, if they will not speak in the law and the testimony, they have no mourning to them. Meaning, when you speak the truth, there must be an evidence, and the people will see the evidence. We have many translations which is available right now. In me, I have a 100 translation of the Bible, and I can show it to you. Hello, CJ. Look at my Bible. Okay, in my laptop tablet, I can have an available evidence that proves that Jesus is God. I will not use the evidence which is not unavailable because it is a questionable and must to examine. Now, in the book of John, the King James Version say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That is a King James translation. Now, in other translation, very clear, and many translation of the Bible, that it says that the Word is divine. The Word is God. Let us read. I will read because Vic is accepted and accept that the Word is Jesus Christ. And the definition in the third clause of the John 1:1, it is very clear. I will read, Sister CJ and other listeners here. In ASB, okay, in ASB translation, okay, in ASB translation say, let us read. This is an available translation of the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, And the Word was God. ASB. In BBE, Bible Basic English, from the first, He was the Word. And the Word was in relation with God and was God. That is BBE. Bishop Bible is one of the most oldest translation of the English translation. It said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. There are three translations agree in my position that the Word was God. Not only three, I will show you one more. BLB translation. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. How many translation? 4. BSB translation, Coverdale translation, Darby translation, DRC translation, Easy English Bible, EMT Bible, and many more. Geneva Bible, ISB Bible, this all Bible agree that the Word was God. That's why I believe, and my faith is very clear, that Jesus, who is the Word, was God. He was in the beginning with God. Right? The Father is God. Jesus, according to John, He is God. Actually, even in Spanish, en el principio era la palabra, arquel que palabra era con el Dios. La palabra era de Dios. That is very simple in Spanish. It's very clear. La palabra era de Dios. You know, in Latin Vulgate. Oh, quiet, Miss CJ. Quiet. In Latin Vulgate.
30 seconds.
In principio erat verbum, et verbum erat apud, Deum at Dios erat verbum. One of the oldest translation of the Bible, which is the Codex Vaticanus, one of the most early translation of the Bible, is Codex Vaticanus, say, erat verbum. The Word was God.
Time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I get to ask questions, and I don't know why he's going off in Spanish. And the Bible was not translated from Spanish, so that's a good one on me. But I won't deal with that right now.
CJ, no side comment, CJ.
Okay, the first time.
No side comment. You
Well,
have to be very strict, CJ.
All right,
CJ, I demand you to be strict.
Gentlemen.
Don't get where we're talking over each other, okay?
All right.
You go to your question. You go to your question.
Gentlemen. Hernan. Be quiet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let Vic ask his questions.
Did you say Isaiah 20 verse 8?
I did not quote any verse right now. I'm only concentrating on John 1:1.
A little while ago, Hernan, when you quoted about translations, did you go to Isaiah 20 verse 8?
No, I say Isaiah 8:20. There is a rule to provide the truth.
What chapter? What chapter?
Isaiah 8:20. In the law and the testimony.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, I didn't have that verse there. That's all I want. When it was that person. Okay.
Next question.
All right. Next question is, if it's a Trinity, then why isn't the Holy Spirit mentioned?
First of all,
1 and 2.
First of all, that is not my stand. That is not the topic. First of all, I do not believe in the Trinity that was introduced by the Roman Catholic. I do not believe in Trinity. I believe in Godhead. You believe in a dualism that Jesus and God are the same person. You don't believe the Holy Spirit? No. Okay. I believe that Jesus is different with his Father because Jesus is the Son of God. Matthew 16:16 and 1 John 5:20. Jesus Christ is different to his Father, but Jesus and the Father are co-equal with being God. John 10:30.
Okay. If they're the same person, then how can they be different?
No, they are not deep. They are different in being, but they are like the husband and wife. They are different person, but they are called in one in the Bible. Matthew 19 verse 5. They are separate person, but they are united.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm preaching. So you're agreeing with me. You're debating yourself now, Hernan.
Why? Why? Oh,
You
don't
said earlier.
Excuse me.
Hernan.
Gentlemen.
Hernan.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Hernan.
Do not
CJ,
comment.
gentlemen, he's not going to talk, CJ. I start
CJ,
talking, he talks over me.
Shit.
Do not
Hernan. Hernan.
Hmm.
Be quiet. Practice James 1:19.
Okay, you got to let me ask the question. You start talking over me. Okay.
No, you have a side comment. You just your role today is to ask question and not to have a side comment.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Because you have a time to explain. Ask question only.
Okay.
What is your question?
Everybody can hear then, Hernan. Everybody can hear.
Put in order. Put in order.
There you go. Okay.
Hernan.
You're
Hernan. James 1:19.
Okay, third question.
all right, Hernan, everybody can see that I'm trying to ask you and you're talking over me. Okay, so my next question is, since you believe Jesus and God are the same person.
No, that's policy. I did not say that Jesus and God is the same person. I did not say that. I say
but
Jesus.
Are you saying?
Listen. I say,
Gentlemen. Hernan.
No,
Hernan.
let him talk. Go.
Hernan. Be quiet. James 1:19.
CJ, let him talk. Go ahead.
CJ, how can I be silent? I am the one who will answer. How can I answer? If I will silent, I will not answer. And this is my time to answer, CJ. Okay?
Yeah, let him answer.
I did not say that Jesus and God are one. I say they are one in God, but they are different person.
Okay. Now you actually
question.
Debating you. So what you're doing now? What you got? You got to calm down, Hernan. Okay.
Your question.
All right. Earlier you said I'm trying to ask. Okay, come on. Let me ask you. You said earlier that Jesus is God, and now you're saying they're a different person. You can't go under the same title and say that's a different person. Okay, so you're contradicting yourself. So why are you saying, here's my question now, why did you start out saying Jesus is God, and now all of a sudden he's a different person than God? Why are you changing them?
My answer is this, because in John 1:1, the word God here referring to the Father, because trying to say that Jesus Christ as the Father is God and Jesus as the Word is God, so the Word was with God. So the Father is God and Jesus, according to John 1:1, is also God, and the Word was God.
Okay, my next question.
Time.
Show me a verse.
Time.
Hold on, CJ. Let me ask you.
Okay.
Show me a verse. Hernan, show me a verse that says God the Son. Because that's what you just said last time up. Show me a verse that says God the Son.
Can I answer that, CJ? Because
yes, you may.
Okay. You know, the Bible is not word by word. If you're going to analyze the rules of hermeneutics, John 1:18 say, I will read to you. John 1:18. Here's my answer, CJ. Because you allow me. No man has ever seen God. God, the only Son. This is the Bible. No man has ever had seen God. God, the only Son. Another verse.
What verse was that? You didn't give me book chapter verse.
John 1:18 in NNT translation.
John 1:18.
Another verse.
Okay,
Another
I
verse.
got it. All right.
Another verse. Another verse. I will give you. Okay. No person had ever seen God, but God only true Son, who is very near to the Father, and He is God. Very
Okay,
clear.
what chapter verse was it?
John 1:18. The other translation.
That's a
Okay.
very good answer.
John 1:18. That's a
I
terrible
ask
answer.
you a question. There are many verses that say the Son is God. John 1:18. Mono
Okay.
genis theos.
Okay. Well, if I speak Russian, would that make me holy? If I start speaking Russian, then that makes me holy now. Okay. Let's get back. Let's get back to this.
Yes.
5 minutes.
Come on, CJ. Monitor.
Okay.
It's my turn now.
Be in
5
order.
minutes
It's my
start.
Okay.
Very good, TJ.
Now, okay, that means, be quiet, let me talk. Okay. So start it now, okay, because he's interrupting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Got it.
he's filled several counts, and what he's doing now, he's debating himself. He's showing scriptures that Jesus said no one seen God, and he started out saying Jesus is God. I asked him for a scripture that says God the Son, he didn't produce any. In fact, going to John 1:18 supports what I'm believing. Okay, so we'll go on to read John 1:18 now. And I'll just respond to him. I have many things really to say, but I'm just going to respond a little bit to him. No man has seen God at any time. Now he's saying Jesus is God, and they're all looking right at Jesus, the only begotten Son. He said he's a begotten Son. Didn't say he was God. That's the verse. I'm reading the verse. Read any translation you want. Which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. So that scripture, the scriptures he's using, is showing the Son declared the Father, declared God. Okay, so when we look at the scriptures now, which I agree, no man has seen God, and anytime you can't see God, I'm going to get to that. But let's just read Ephesians 4 now. Let me give you some scriptures. We'll go to Ephesians 4, verse 6. And I'm trying to get to real quick. I can quote it, but I want to go ahead and read it right word for word. And I should comment too that he says the Bible is not word for word. I don't even know exactly what that means. Is he saying there's mistakes in the Bible? But I'll let him explain that later. Okay, so let's go to Ephesians 4. And you'll see in verse 6, when we start in verse 4, it says there is one body, one spirit. So he's showing the oneness of one body. There's only one Holy Spirit. There's only one faith. There's only one baptism that will save you. So verse 6, he says there's one God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. So Paul, who would know more than anybody probably at that time, he said there's only one God and Father of all. That's what it plainly says. See? And other scriptures reference to that too. So when we go to Colossians 1, this, I debated him on this before, and he was not able to give biblical responses to anything that I brought up on it. Colossians 1 tells us that he agrees that nobody can see God, so he agrees with that. So that's a good one, how they can see Jesus and he's God, and no one can see God, but they can see Jesus, he's God. That's a contradiction, folks. Verse Colossians 1:15, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. So here it says God is invisible, which he agreed. See, he just said he agreed with that. And so we'll go to 1 Timothy 6:16, if you're following your Bible. It says who only have the immortality, 1 Timothy 6:16, who only have the immortality, dwell in the light, which no man can approach unto, which no man has seen, nor can see. It's impossible to see God. To him be honor and power everlasting, amen. Which proves that Jesus cannot be God, because many people saw him, and the case is really closed. So Jesus is not God, he's the Son of God. He was begotten of God, just like people are begotten of God when they're baptized into Christ. You're added to his spirit, and you're one with him. We go back to John 17:21. I pray, Father, that they may be one as you and I are one. So Jesus was praying for the New Testament, for those to be baptized into Christ, would be a one family, just like a family or a sports team is one unit. That doesn't make everybody in the team God. Doesn't make all the Christians God just because they're one with God and Jesus. You see? So what I started, how much time do I got, CJ?
Almost 30 seconds, but not quite.
All right. So it just shows what I was saying from the beginning. It's a pagan doctrine that was brought in by the Catholic Church. I don't have enough time to get into that now. But the Catholic Church brought it in by Constantine. It started earlier, but Constantine brought it in 325 with the Council of Nicaea. And I don't have a lot of time. I'll take it.
30 seconds.
30 seconds now. Okay. So it's actually a pagan doctrine, but people get confused. And just the fact that Jesus was holy and pure, they're making him God. But see, angels are holy and pure too. And why don't people make them God? And some people are Trinitarians. He said he's not a Trinitarian, but he's contradicted himself several times. He's saying you can't see God, but then Jesus is God. Okay.
Hi.
Go ahead.
This is my first question.
Okay.
Ma'am CJ, for 5 minutes. My question is this. Do you agree no man, we are talking about human, no man has seen God? Are you agree with that?
I agree.
Okay. But there is someone who see God. And who is that?
Jesus Christ saw God.
All right.
Because
okay. Thank you for your answer. So if Jesus,
Hernan, you agree? You're not letting me finish answering.
I see your
Gentlemen,
don't be interrupted. You finish answering. I'm answering, then he just interrupts me. Okay. Jesus saw God because Jesus was in a spirit form. See, he had different formations where he was in the spirit form with God, but he didn't have a physical body. He did not see God in his physical body.
Okay. Because I get your answer. No man.
I'm not done. You're interrupting me.
I will clarify my question.
Okay, go
on. No man has seen God. When we talk about human, no one has seen God. Now you agree that Jesus saw the Father. Okay? Is he a human? Is he included? Is he included that no man has seen God? But he see God. Is he human?
Can I answer that? Okay, yes. I answered at the last thing here. Same question. The answer. Okay, let me talk. That means you don't talk when I'm talking. The answer is Jesus when he was in John 1. Come on, let's do this decently and orderly. In John 1, he was not in a physical body, right? He was in a spiritual form as the Logos. See, that's what the word means in the Greek. It means Logos, the thought, the expression of God. Okay, so in his physical body.
He's not answering my question. If
I can't answer it anyway. Hernan, come on, why are you talking?
Gentlemen.
Hernan, you're not looking good. Not let me finish answering you. Just talk over me and start shouting. I'm trying to be.
Answer
I don't want
my
to
question.
be peaceful. Calm.
He was.
Be quiet, both of you. Okay, Hernan, what do you want to say?
He was wasting my time, my 5 minutes. My question is this: if Jesus is not included, no man has seen God because he see God. Is he a human? That is very simple question, Miss CJ.
Okay. Can Vic answer you, please?
Yes, very categorically.
Okay.
Categorically, Miss CJ. Is he a human or not?
Okay, I'm not going to continue with the debate. If CJ, you're not an honest monitor, and you don't let me talk, there's no point in me carrying on anymore. I'm going to end it. Okay, let me finish answering you. You asked me the questions. Now let me answer my own way. Okay, so he's just mad because I'm not answering the way what he wants me to answer. I can answer any way I want to. It's my turn. Okay, and I'm explaining. I'm answering your question. Jesus in John 1, he was the Logos. He was in a spiritual formation beyond our imagination. We don't have any idea. He was not in a physical body. Okay? When he came to earth, he was separated from the Father because he took on flesh. That's what it means. The Word became flesh. The expression of God would come to planet Earth.
Hernan, he's not done finishing.
I already get his answer very far, but this is my question, the third question. Now,
Okay, go ahead.
you said that Jesus Christ, when he saw the Father, he is in the Spirit. Do you believe in John 4:24 that God is a spirit?
Yes.
Okay. If Jesus is not human and he see the Father, it means he is not human. And what is he? According to John.
He is a different.
Not human.
30 seconds.
Thank you. If he's not human, and
AJ, I have to have time to answer.
And he is the form of the Spirit.
He's not giving me time to answer.
Hernan, can Vic please answer you?
CJ, let me clarify my question. If he's not human and he is in the Spirit, do you agree that Jesus is God because God is a spirit?
All right, tell me when I can answer without him interrupting me.
No, you answer now.
Okay.
Okay, you may answer.
All right. It's the same thing in paradise, okay? Or if you want to call it heaven, for those that don't understand it, angels are in paradise. So does that make them God because they're spirits? It says in Hebrews 1, they're ministering spirits of fire. So now we have not two gods, now we have a zillion gods. Okay, spirit simply means not of the earth, is what it means. It doesn't mean of physical atoms and within the universal laws. It supersedes. It doesn't make you God. Demons are spirits too. So now he wants demons to be God. No, I already read the scripture to you, which he's ignoring. It says in Ephesians 4:6, there's only one God and Father of all. That clearly says it. So people say contrary to that verse or many verses I've given you, they're adding their own doctrines.
Okay, another question, Mr. CJ, because he was wasting my time here. So,
Hernan.
Do you believe? No, because it was I get my
Hernan. No. Hernan.
No, I will
practice James 1:19.
No, I will give my fourth question, CJ.
Okay, the time is up. The time is up. Okay, it was over a long time ago.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's my time.
Is it Vic? Is it okay if he asks you more questions?
I'm fine, but he wants to ask me, but he's got to let me answer him. He keeps interrupting me. He get all hyper. I can't even say anything.
Quite not big. It's my 5 minutes now.
Okay, just 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes. You know,
okay,
CJ,
I'll start 5 minutes.
CJ, the reason why I cut the answer little, because it's only 5 minutes and I need to ask him more questions. We must answer the question categorically and little only, because if you're going to explain, then my 5 minutes will be paid away, right?
Okay.
I don't understand, CJ. So in 5 minutes, we have to ask more questions. Oh, quiet.
It's 5 minutes now. You go on through the debate making your own rules up. Just take 5 minutes up.
Okay. You're out of order.
Gentlemen. Jesus.
He makes his own rules up.
James 1:19, gentlemen. James 1:19. James 1:19.
CJ, I know you don't have much
time.
I think it's 5 minutes.
CJ, who is in order? Is this my 5 minutes explanation, right, CJ?
You may ask your questions. Vic allowed you to ask questions.
No, come on, it's getting unorganized. It's your 5 minutes, okay? Take your 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm starting the timer now.
Okay. So if I will speak in 5 minutes, I hope Mr. Vic will be in order. Do not talk because you're out of order. Okay. Start my 5 minutes. Repeat again. 5 minutes.
Okay, now, 5 minutes.
Okay. I think in John 1:1 and John 1:18, the only verse that I only use on this argument, he cannot uh, distort it, and the truth remains that only that verse, Jesus Christ is God. I have shown you in this debate that many translations, many scholars will agree the word was God. Okay? Now, in John 1:14, the word was made flesh or manifested in the flesh, like what in 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16, that God manifested in the flesh. Now, I ask B, no one has seen God, only the Son. Now, if Jesus Christ see God, then he is not human. And then Big say, how about the angel? They are also a spirit. Jesus Christ is different with the spirit, with the angel. I'll show you. In the book of Hebrew, chapter 1, because angel is only a creation. Angel cannot worship, cannot be worshipped because they are creator. Jesus Christ is different with the angel. Let us read. In Hebrew, chapter 1, verse 5 say, let us read. I will see. Okay. Hebrew, chapter 1, verse 5. Here's the difference between the angel and Jesus Christ. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, you are my son. This day I have begotten thee. He did not tell to any angel because Jesus Christ is the only begotten, monogenes theos. The angel is only a creation, but Jesus Christ is beget by the Father. And next, angel cannot worship, but Jesus Christ will worship by the angel because he is God. And if Jesus is not God, then Jesus Christ is not worthy to worship. Because the Bible said, thou shalt not worship other God. If Jesus is worshipped by the angel, he is God. Let us read. In Hebrew, chapter 1, verse 6 say, let us read. Hebrew, chapter 1, verse 6. You will see, Jesus is truly God because he was worshipped not only by man, he was only not worshipped by the wise man, but he is also worshipped by the angel. Hebrew chapter 1 at verse 6 say, and again, when he bring the first begotten into the world, he say, and let all the angels of God worship him. Is he a man? Is he our only man? Is he only a creation? No. Jesus Christ is the only begotten Son of God. And all the angels worship Jesus Christ. Not only the angel, in Matthew chapter 8 verse 2, the leper worshiped Jesus and healed him. In the book of Matthew chapter 2 verse 11, the wise man, when he see Jesus Christ in Bethlehem, they worship Jesus Christ. If Jesus is not God, then why God allow Jesus Christ to be worshipped? See, that is very, very clear. I hope, CJ, you have the heart seeking for the truth. And it is very clear when Thomas said in John 20, verse 28, and Thomas said, my Lord
30 seconds.
and my God. According to Thomas, who is Jesus? My Lord and my God. Vic will say, no, he's not God. No, he's not God. But Thomas said, my Lord and my God. And Jesus said, blessed are you. You believe because you see me. Blessed are those who do not see me and yet believe. Thank you very much, CJ.
Time.
Let me ask you questions.
Yes.
All right, if you can see the scriptures, Luke 1:19, and the angel answered and said unto him, I am Gabriel that stand in the presence of God, and am sent to speak unto thee and to show thee things, show thee glad tidings. Okay. When the angels too, and Gabriel in their presence of God, do they see God?
The angel manifested in a being because they are representative of God. And there is a passage in the Bible when during the Old Testament, when they see angel, they say they see God. Numbers chapter 6, verse 23 to 24. There are many verses that when they see the angel in the Old Testament, they will see, I will see God. Like Jacob in Genesis 32:30, when he wrestled against the angel, he said, I have seen God face to face.
CJ, you got to learn to be a moderator. And
Yes.
Next question. I have answered your question.
Next question. Okay, you did not answer that. I'm going to repeat the question again.
Yes.
When the angels, Gabriel specifically, he's in the presence of God, Luke 1:19, did Gabriel see God? The question was not did people see God when they saw angels. The question is, when the angels were in heaven like Gabriel in his presence, did they see God?
Who? The people or Gabriel?
Gabriel and angels. When they're in God's presence, can they see God?
Okay. They see God manifested in the flesh in the time of Mary's womb, because God, Jesus Christ, manifested in the flesh. So they see the flesh of Christ in the womb of Mary.
Okay. The question was in heaven, not manger. The question was in heaven.
Can you read that, Brother Vic?
Okay.
Can you read that? Book 119, is it in heaven or it's in earth?
I want you to look at the scripture.
No. My answer is this. For clarification,
Gentlemen.
CJ, I'm just clarifying because he said it is in heaven. In Luke 1:19, what it in happening? It is in heaven or it is in earth? Big.
Luke 1:19, and the angel said unto him, I am Gabriel that stand in the presence of God. Okay.
Where did it happen?
And am sent. Come on, let me speak, please. And am sent. So he not in. He was sent from God. He came from the presence of God. So my question is, you have failed to answer. This is the third time I'm asking. Did Gabriel and the angels see God in heaven?
I will say, the angel only see the glory of God, but the real nature of God, no one had seen God, only the Son. That is my answer. Okay. The angel can see the presence of God, the glory of God, but they cannot see the face of God, only Jesus Christ.
Okay, where is that scripture that says the angels cannot see God?
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 3. The seraphim only worship God because of the presence of God.
Verse 3.
Isaiah, yeah. They only see the glory of God. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1 and 2.
Okay, where is it? Isaiah what?
6, chapter 6.
So you're in my presence now, and you don't see me on camera.
What is your side comment, CJ?
It's still a question. You said when you're in their presence, you can't see it. You're in my presence now, on camera, and you don't see me at all. You said I was a while ago.
I see your video, but I cannot see you personally. It's different.
Okay. In Isaiah 6,
the angels seraphim worship God because they are in the presence of God.
The question is, did they see God? Is the question. And you went to, here's your Bible reference, and I'm reading it.
Okay.
And it's not saying anything that you're saying. I'm looking all through it to make
30
sure.
seconds.
And not one of those verses say that the angels cannot see God. Not one of those verses.
Can I read the verse, CJ? Because I'm the one who will answer. Can I read the verse? Because this is my time to answer. You are not in the position to answer, Mr. Vic. Put yourself in order.
Okay. All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, here's the verse. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 3. Okay, can you stop the clock, Mr. CJ, because I'm going to read. Okay,
Go answer.
Yes.
okay. Above it stood seraphim, each one of 6 wings, then covered his face, and with twain covered feet. And one cried unto another, say, Holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, whole earth is full of his glory. What they see? The glory of God, not the God himself. Because the promise they will see God is only promised to the believer, not to the angel. Matthew 5:8. The promise that they will see God face to face, it is not promised to the angel. It is a promise to whom a pure heart. Matthew 5:8.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ma'am C.
All right. Now it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay. Last stand.
Last time. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna start
All
the
right.
clock.
Well, tell me when you're starting.
I got it. Started.
Okay. So we see here the angels are in the presence of God. I didn't really get to cover. I never get to cover it when I cover because I'm always responding to him all the time. So clearly no one could see God. And Jesus was in a spiritual form. And here's some scriptures we'll give you. Jesus said, the Father is greater than I. In John 13:16, John 5:36. So he can clearly not be God. If something's greater than you, it can't be you. You'd be the same thing. See, so he's contradicting himself many times. And if maybe people can see that, that no man can clearly see God, and Jesus was on earth, and so they could not see and say, there's God. I see Jesus, there's God. When Jesus clearly said, he used the scripture himself, John 1:18, that was his scripture, which would clearly show Jesus is not God. He's the Son of God. That's not the same thing. Being a son is not the same thing as being a father. That cannot be the same person. Okay. And let's see, anything else I want to cover here? And the scriptures, many more that will tell us no one could see God. I already showed you. It says, nor at any time. And 1 Timothy 6:16, if you go back and look, it's nor at any time. That means from the past to the present to the future, it's impossible for anybody to see God. Okay, which once again clarifies that Jesus could not be God, because there's many scriptures where Jesus would say, the Father me. He said, now in our last debate with him, I went over that in John chapter 6, 7, and 8. I don't have time to give you those. Look at them yourself. He said, the Father who is greater than I has sent me, do nothing on my own. Jesus clearly said that. What I hear the Father say, I do. So if he was God, he would not have a father. God don't have a father, right? He don't have a father. God is the Most High. It's called El Elyon, the Most High. Jesus is identified always as the Son of God, as a son, which means he would have a greater force than him. So let me respond to one thing he said here, that why was Jesus worshipped? It's the same thing, just like Joseph in the Old Testament. Joseph was seated next to Pharaoh. He was not the head, he was second in command, just like Jesus. Jesus got his throne from God. When we go to Hebrews 1, what he quoted earlier, you see God set him down. He's quoting what David said in 1:10. He pleased the Father, just like Joseph pleased Pharaoh. I'm not calling Pharaoh God, but it's the same position of authority is the point I'm making. That Pharaoh said, he gave him his ring and said, you're in second command now. They got to bow down and worship you just like me, but you're not higher than me. Same thing applies to Jesus. He was worthy to sit on the throne with God because he overcame and God was pleased with him. See? And he said that even when he was baptized by John the Baptist and the dove came down, like the Holy Spirit dove, and said, I'm pleased as my son whom I'm well pleased. See? He didn't say it to the angels. And the angels are in the presence of God. Whether they see him or not is not even really the point. The point is that Jesus pleased the Father. He took on flesh, but he never went. He didn't produce any scriptures that said God the Son. Jesus went around telling everybody, "Hey, everybody, I'm God." In the scripture he used himself, Jesus, John 1:18, amongst others. Jesus said, "No one has heard his voice or seen him at any time." So obviously, you can plainly see, judge it yourself, that Jesus is the Word, God's Word that became flesh, not God himself. Just like Moses delivered the Word. Many prophets delivered the Word. The Apostle Paul did. Jesus said, he sent his disciples out. He said, you go in my name,
30
knock
seconds.
on doors. Okay, you go in my name and knock on doors. They were going through the authority of Jesus Christ. It's the same thing with Jesus and even angels, as he brought up, which I agree. They're going through the authority of the Father. That does not make them God. It makes them sent from God, which is scriptures. I could produce scripture after scripture. You can do your own research and see. Jesus said, the Father send me.
Time.
Send me here.
Okay.
I do the Father's
Right.
work. Okay. That's your question.
My question is this. When in Matthew 3:16, Jesus, the Father said, "This is my Son, my beloved Son, in whom I will please."
But
Do you
Matthew
agree
3:16,
do you agree that Jesus Christ is the Son of God? Do you agree with that?
okay, what chapter verse did you use? I didn't catch it.
Matthew 3. This is my beloved Son. And
What
Matthew
verse?
7, in Matthew 3,
Matthew.
17.
What verse?
Matthew
17.
3:17.
Okay, thank you.
My time is
Yeah,
running out.
that's the
You have to
position.
look you have to look kasi my time is running out, Miss CJ.
Okay.
My
What?
question is this, because that is a
I'm trying to
delay.
answer again. You just won't let me talk for some
Matthew,
reason.
I told you, Matthew 3:17 and Matthew 17.
I got it. Okay,
Okay.
if you would.
My
for a
question
minute,
is this.
I said
My question is this, Mr.
I got your
Mrs.
question. Don't repeat it. I already got it. Okay. Yes, Jesus is the Son of God. That's what I've been telling you for the past hour. Okay, go ahead. Your next question.
This is another question. If
Okay.
you agree that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, how Jesus become the Son? How Jesus become the Son?
How did he do it? The same reason you
No,
and
no,
I
no,
never been.
that's not my question. You said that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. How we
Yes.
become the Son?
How do we?
How
do we?
how we become the Son of God?
Okay, are you asking how do we? W-E?
Yeah, the Son. How because
We become.
do you agree that the Son?
Hernan.
I have a question.
Hernan.
Can I answer,
James
please?
1:19. He's
Okay.
trying, Vic.
Okay. This is my
Hernan.
Okay, thank you.
1:19. James 1:19.
I have to ask.
James 1:19.
Okay, CJ.
Okay, Vic.
This is my
Vic
time.
is trying to. What is what?
Thank you, G. Oh, here's my question, CJ.
Hernan.
Okay.
I got your question. Can I answer, please?
Okay,
Did you let me answer?
This is my question.
Did you do your job?
Let me clarify that.
I got your question. You said, how do we become sons of God?
Let me finish. If Jesus is the Son, then he has the Father. Do you agree that every son came to the Father? Every son came in being of the Father.
Every son of God. Do I get the answer or else we're done? Okay, if you don't let me talk, I'm done. Okay.
Hernan. Let him talk.
I'm listening.
Keep interrupting me and don't let me talk. Okay. We are sons, it says in Romans, by adoption. Just like somebody would be adopted. That means they didn't come from the same bloodline. Jesus is begotten because God sent him directly from heaven to earth. We were never in heaven, nor can anybody say that I'm begotten of God. Only Jesus can say that. We're sons of God through adoption. Next question.